You've lived through it all. The victories. The losses. The seasons that broke you and the ones that rebuild you stronger. You're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, maybe beyond. You carry decades of real experience that no classroom can teach and no shortcut can replace. And then she walks in. Younger. Full of energy. A natural curiosity about the world that hasn't been worn down yet. And somehow, she gives you genuine attention. Not the polite surface-level kind. Real attention. The kind that makes something inside you stir again. It feels fresh. It feels alive. The world suddenly feels full of possibility again. Your heartbeat finds a different rhythm. And this, exactly this moment, is when most men begin making the quiet mistakes that unravel everything they've spent decades building. Because when an older man becomes attracted to a younger woman, something inside him slowly starts to shift. Something dangerous. He begins to forget his own worth. He starts overlooking the experience, the wisdom, the strength he has built across 30, 40, 50 years of living, as if those decades of growth count for nothing. Instead of standing firm in who he is, he begins to shrink. He softens the parts of his identity that made him powerful. He becomes less grounded, less certain. And gradually, without even realizing it, he starts behaving like someone else entirely. The moment that shift happens, the entire dynamic changes. She no longer sees a grounded, self-assured man. She sees someone who is trying. Someone who has lost his footing. And slowly, the attraction that was once so natural begins to dissolve, replaced first by confusion, then by disinterest. This is not about judging these relationships. Many of them can work beautifully. This is about awareness. This is about discipline. You need to protect yourself. Respect your identity. Honor the inner strength you've spent a lifetime earning. When attraction appears, stay grounded. A real man does not lose himself in the pursuit of someone else. Today, we are going to talk about the 6 mistakes you must never make if you want to preserve your dignity, your value, and the attraction that brought her to you in the first place. Mistake number 1. Trying to act like someone your age is not. You are not 25. And pretending otherwise is a disservice to her and to yourself. Many older men make this mistake without realizing it. They change the way they dress. They chase trends that don't suit them. They adopt mannerisms from a generation they don't belong to, as if performing youth could somehow close a gap that isn't actually a problem. It can't. And it won't. What it does do is strip away the very thing that made you interesting to her in the first place. She is not drawn to you despite your age. She is drawn to you because of who your age has made you. Your calm. Your confidence. Your ability to navigate life's storms without falling apart. Your depth. Your presence. These are the things a younger man simply cannot offer her because he hasn't lived enough to possess them yet. When you stop trying to match her energy and instead stay rooted in who you truly are, your attractiveness increases, naturally, effortlessly. Without performance. A woman can sense the moment something is forced. It feels unnatural. And that feeling quietly destroys attraction in a way that is very difficult to recover from. Your age is not a weakness. It is your greatest strength. Stand on it. Mistake number 2, becoming her emotional support system. This one is subtle. It happens slowly, and by the time most men realize what has occurred, it is almost impossible to escape. She begins sharing her problems with you. Her anxieties. Her frustrations. Her fears about the future. You listen. You want to help. You feel needed, and that feeling is meaningful to you. So you keep showing up. You become the person she turns to when the world feels heavy. And slowly, without either of you intending it, you stop being a man she is attracted to and become a man she depends on. That is not romantic connection. That is emotional dependency. And the two are not the same. There is a clear line between being present and being used. A grounded man listens, but he does not carry everything. He remains steady, but he does not sacrifice his own peace trying to fix every crisis she brings him. When she arrives with emotional chaos, he stays calm. He does not absorb it. He does not lose himself in it. That balance is what creates genuine attraction. When you stay centered, she respects you more. She feels safe with you, not because you solved all her problems, but because your presence is stable no matter what she brings to it. But the moment you become her emotional crutch, the moment she begins seeing you as a therapist or a father figure rather than a man, the romantic dynamic collapses. And it rarely recovers. Be present. Be steady. But never let her emotional world become your full-time occupation. Mistake number 3, seeking her validation. This is one of the most common mistakes older men make in these dynamics, and often the most damaging. It begins quietly. You offer compliments more frequently than feels natural. You wait for her messages with a growing anxiety you try to hide. You agree with things you don't actually believe, just to keep the peace. Just to keep her interested, even when it means compromising something true about yourself. Before long, your sense of self-worth has become tied to her approval. And the moment that happens, you lose your value in her eyes completely. A man who knows his worth does not look for confirmation from the outside. He already values himself. His confidence is not borrowed from someone else's opinion of him, it comes from something internal, something she can feel but cannot quite explain. When you stay grounded and stop seeking her validation, something interesting happens. She senses that you are complete without her. And that, paradoxically, builds attraction. Because she understands that your presence in her life is a choice, not a need. If she takes time to reply, you stay focused on your own life. You don't chase. You don't panic. You don't send the follow-up message designed to pull her back. You remain in control of your emotions and your actions. That self-containment is magnetic. Never trade it for temporary reassurance. Mistake number 4, trying too hard to impress. This is where many men lose direction entirely. They overthink everything. They try to craft the perfect message. They plan elaborate experiences designed to prove their worth. They present a version of themselves that is polished, curated, and exhausting to maintain. The result is not attraction. The result is pressure. When you perform instead of simply being, she feels it. The interaction stops feeling like a genuine connection and starts feeling like an audition. You become someone trying to win her, rather than someone simply living his life and inviting her into it. A grounded man does not perform. He leads. He makes decisions calmly. He speaks with quiet certainty. He remains relaxed even when things don't go exactly as planned. He does not feel the need to prove himself because he already knows who he is. True strength is quiet. It is not loud or aggressive. It is the clarity and confidence that comes from a man who is comfortable in his own skin. The more you try to impress her, the more she feels the pressure to validate you. And that shifts the dynamic in a way that is rarely recoverable. But the more you simply are, calm, present, unbothered, the more she is drawn toward you without fully understanding why. Stop performing. Start being. Mistake number 5, building a future in your mind before she has committed to anything. This is a trap that catches many older men, particularly those who have been alone for a while and are genuinely hungry for connection. She gives you real attention. You feel something you haven't felt in years. And before any commitment has been made. Before the relationship has had time to breathe and develop naturally, you are already picturing holidays together. Introducing her to your family. Planning a future that exists only in your imagination. This is dangerous. Because the moment you begin living inside a fantasy, you stop seeing what is actually in front of you. You overlook red flags. You ignore signs of disinterest. You invest emotional energy into something that may not be real, and you make decisions based on what you hope will happen, not what is actually happening. The Stoic approach is to stay fully grounded in the present moment. Enjoy the connection for what it is right now, not for what you need it to become. Let the relationship unfold naturally, at its own pace. If it is meant to grow, it will grow. If it isn't, you will have saved yourself from a great deal of unnecessary pain. A woman can sense when a man has already planned the wedding in his head. And more often than not, that energy feels less like romance and more like pressure. Stay present. Stay patient. Let what is real reveal itself in its own time. Mistake number 6, forgetting who you are. This is the most important principle of all, and everything else flows from it. An older man's greatest asset is self-knowledge. You have lived long enough to understand your strengths and your limitations. You know what you want. You know what you will not tolerate. You have a clarity about life that can only come from having actually lived it. And then a younger woman enters the picture, and something strange happens. You begin to doubt yourself. You wonder if you are still desirable. You question whether your age makes you less relevant, less worthy of her interest. And in that moment of self-doubt, you begin to lose the very qualities that made you attractive in the first place. This is the core mistake that underlies every other mistake on this list. You must remember, you are not lucky to have her attention. She is lucky to have yours. The attention of a man who has built a real life. Who has earned real wisdom. Who has survived real difficulty and come out of it with something that cannot be found in any book or shortcut. When you truly internalize that truth, when you stop seeing your age as something to compensate for and start seeing it as the foundation of your value, everything changes. You stop chasing. You stop performing. You stop shrinking yourself to fit a world that never asked you to. You simply become more of who you already are. And that is the most powerful thing an older man can do. Final words. Marcus Aurelius wrote, standing on the shoulders of the past, stay in the present. You are enough. Your age is not a liability. It is the foundation upon which genuine, lasting attraction is built. The moment you start acting like a younger man, you lose the one thing that made you truly valuable. So stop playing games. Stop chasing. Stop trying to shrink yourself into something you are not. Remember the man you have become. He is more than enough. He always was. Which of these 6 mistakes hit closest to home? Be honest in the comments, the men reading them will appreciate it more than you know.